free. We're very good.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Major Misconduct. We have another gorgeous day in Winnipeg. Does that work for you? Is that better than lovely?
That's way better than lovely.
It's bright and sunny. It's a very, very nice February day. We're almost at March, and a lot going on. This is trade deadline day. We're not even going to go near trade deadline because we both had enough of it. It doesn't matter. There's two Kostitsins now in Nashville, for those who want to know. But I do want to talk hockey. We do want to talk a lot of hockey today. And I had a number of ways I was going to go, but there's something that I know is in your crowd. By the way, I'm the Major, Scott Taylor. That's the Misconduct, Curt Keelback. And the thing that has been bugging you for about 2 weeks now is the Graham James story. It's the story that will never go away. And, of course, those of us in Canada understand the Graham James story. He was a junior hockey coach who sexually abused male players. It is an ugly, nasty story. Graham James just gone to trial again, guilty once more, and the prosecutors have asked for 6 years in prison, and that's driving you nuts.
I can't believe it. I can't believe in this country they would only ask for 6 years for this pedophile. I mean, it wasn't as if it was an isolated incident. I mean, this happened.
There were more than one.
According to Theo Fleury, at least 150 assaults. Then his cousin, Todd Helton, went on for 5 years. So if you figure at least another 150 assaults there, I mean, that's 300 assaults. But then you're going to get 6 years? What, one a week? Every assault is worth a week in prison, and that's what they're asking for. Yeah. It's just not enough. He should be put away, and the key should be thrown out. You know, there was a case just recently in the U.S., the same thing, a pedophile involved with 2 kids. He was found guilty, and apparently they're asking for 167 years in prison. That's what Graham James should get. And I can't see why are we so lenient? The guy's a pervert. He admits it.
I think it's, look, yeah, he should be put in jail forever. And the saddest part of this whole story is seeing a guy I know and like very much, Sheldon Kennedy. I think a great deal of Sheldon Kennedy. Theo Fleury, another good friend.
I know Theo Fleury quite well, too, and he's a real good person.
And Theo has been able to leave some of it behind. He's been able to write his book. He's been able to say the things he needed to say. And he has, to a great extent, been able to get on with his life. Sheldon Kennedy is still back in the 1980s with Graham James. He's never been able to move forward.
And he got 18 months for that.
18 months for that.
Ruined her life. 18 months, okay, now you can go.
Destroyed a really decent human being, and destroyed a guy who was a whale of a hockey player, and if this thing had not happened in his lifetime, he may very well have turned out to be a tremendous NHL player who would have made the amounts of money necessary that players make in the National Hockey League, and I just think that for ruining one life, he should get life.
Absolutely. Well, he ruined 3 that we know of.
Yeah, and there are other people involved with this.
There are.
There are some people who have been able to move on.
But he's not been charged with that. He's been charged right now with Fleury and Helton, and he's already been served some time for Sheldon Kennedy, as you say. But wow, it's just not enough. It's just not near enough.
And
You get more for armed robbery.
When people start to argue about our justice system and start to make critical comments about our justice system, it's this leniency for things that are heinous that drives people craziest. Graham James should get a lot more than 6 years.
Absolutely.
For what he did to at least 150
And again, I reiterate,
kids.
That's what they're asking for. The Crown is asking. He'll probably get less.
He'll probably get less. We will leave this 6 story behind, but we've made our point. Graham James should do a lot more than 6 years. And hey, I knew Graham James in the 80s and 90s. He fooled me. I didn't know that stuff was going on.
At one time, after the bus accident in Swift Current, a lot of people were considering him something of a hero.
Exactly. Very, very scary stuff.
How wrong we read sometimes.
Yeah, very wrong. We're going to talk about how wrong we do things coming up.
We are?
I've got my own little bone to pick with people. This is Major Misconduct. That was our first segment today. Maybe a little bit shorter, but there's not a whole lot you can say about this. Graham James should do a lot more than the 6 years they are asking for, the prosecution is asking for, after the latest trial for this pedophile and life destroyer. We'll be back with more happy talk on Major Misconduct. I'm Scott Taylor, that's Curt Keelback, and we're live from the Sal's on Leela in Winnipeg, Manitoba.